So I'm gonna do a simple video of spraying aerosol, explaining how to do it. It's not very hard, but there's a couple extra steps you can do. I know I have a lot of videos online talking about spray cans, heating them up with water, putting them in the sun, shaking them. This is real simple. So here we have a speed shape that we have, and we sanded it with a maroon Scotch pad. You can sand it with 600 if you're doing your project. And all we're gonna do is come in here. This is our Tropical Glitz primer. It's a 1K primer. And all you wanna do is shake it. I usually like to grab my can and shake it like this because the ball is gonna go up and come back down. I grab the can upside down because what happens is all the material sitting at the bottom of the can. So I grab the can upside down, that material is gonna start coming down, your straw goes this way, and I'm just gonna shake it. Now before I actually spray my project, I usually come and see if I have color, and I'm perfect. We're doing this in the warehouse, nothing crazy. We have a car in the booth, so I really don't have the luxury of going into the booth today, but I'm gonna show you, this is real simple. This is sanded, spray on one coat. You don't wanna pound on your primer. You just wanna have a nice coat to it and let it dry. Now I'm gonna give it, let's say it is like 88 degrees right now. I'm gonna give it like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna give it another coat. I'm gonna wait for this to flash off. If you can see on the camera, it is, some spots are shiny, some spots are dull. That's the solvent evaporating. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for that to dry, give it like another 5 to 10 minutes, and then come back and give it another coat and make sure everything is nice and even. And then from there, we're gonna go into our base colors. This looks like it's pretty dry. I'm gonna come touch the bottom. You don't wanna put your primer on very thick because it's gonna end up drying on top and not curing the bottom. It's skimming over. So we're gonna do another coat. So if you notice, I run a tight pattern on it because I wanna make sure I have a nice surface. Now, if you get a lot of texture or orange peel, you can let this dry, come back with a Scotch pad and sand it. And that's what we're gonna end up doing. We're gonna come back and give this a nice little scuff, knock down any texture, and then go to color. All right, so that laid out pretty smooth. It pretty much had a good 5 to 10 minutes dry time, and I'm pretty happy with it. Let's look at the texture on it. I don't know if you guys can see it there well. It's actually real soft, smooth, not a lot of orange peel. So I'm just gonna come and real simple, grab my Scotch pad and make sure this is completely dried. If you try to do this too early, it's gonna be gummy and you're gonna end up gumming up and ruining the project. I'm just gonna come and put some pressure, light pressure on this. Just knock down any little debris or garbage. So, there's some primers that no matter what, you need to sand over because you need to have some type of mechanical adhesion. If the primer says it's some type of epoxy primer or it's a wet on wet primer, that means that once the primer dries, you can go right over it with a color. But this is just a really simple 1K primer. It dries with the temperature outside, the ambient temperature, so nothing crazy. And let's show you guys how this looks. Now before I spray paint, I'm actually gonna wipe this down with some alcohol, well, pre-cleaner. So this is a real small project, so we're doing a maroon Scotch pad, nothing big. If you're doing a large project like a car, bumpers, you wanna use a 2K product. It's gonna give you a way better chemical adhesion, and you wanna make sure you actually is doing that over a 600 grit scratch. If you try to do 800 or anything smoother than that, you're gonna have delamination or paint chips. So the project will look great, and as you're driving down the road, any little thing is gonna chip the paint right off, and you're gonna say, well, the product failed. No, the preparation failed, and that's why your product is failing. The product itself is designed to work with each other, but if you don't prep it properly, you're gonna have failure no matter what. So in this case, we sanded this. Wanted to show you guys just a nice little scratch, just to kind of get rid of any imperfections I have over it, any debris. We're obviously doing this in a warehouse. And if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments below. If If you like this video, like, subscribe, follow. We're trying to give you guys as much as possible when it comes to education. So in this case, we're gonna clean this with a pre-cleaner. This is a solvent-based pre-cleaner. If you're doing something, this is an automotive grade pre-cleaner. We offer it on our website, Southern Polyurethane. And all I'm doing, look at that. That is all the loose particles of sanding debris that's on this. So I wanna make sure that's all nice and dry. All right, now we're gonna let this dry, because what's gonna happen is this is still evaporating. You wanna make sure this all evaporates before we spray any paint. So we got Grape Taffy. So on this one, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do Grape Taffy as the ground coat, as the base coat, and Interstellar Green Pearl 100. And just to show you, and then we're gonna clear coat everything. And this is gonna be the same thing. I already shook this. Nice color. Look at that. Oh, that thing is awesome. Boom. That's done. You can give it another coat if you want, but one coat is more than enough. I have good coverage on this. It covered up the gray. We're gonna let this sit for, see down here, it's still sticky. We're gonna let this sit for a good 10 minutes before we give it another coat. So I don't have people kill me online. Guys, I'm in a warehouse. We have a huge breeze. We have a fan pushing everything over. We're not in the booth. So when you're doing this when you're blah, 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 blah. When you're doing this at home, really important, wear gloves, wear a respirator. I just sprayed this. I don't smell anything. But it's very important for you to have your personal protection on. It's really important to keep your lungs safe, your hands safe, and all these solvents will be absorbed right into your skin and into your bloodstream. Humidity is a big factor into everything. So want to make sure you take your time and let this dry completely before you go on to another coat. All right, so we've already let this base coat dry. We're gonna give it 2 coats. It doesn't really need it, but we wanna show you just in case, just to even this out. Here it is. This is the second coat of Grape Taffy. All right, so we have a valid point it brought up to our attention. So this looks phenomenal on a small shape, but you have to take into account when you're spraying a bigger item, you have to continue to keep this. If you're spraying a panel, you have to keep your spray pattern as wet as possible, because by the time you keep on continuing on a bigger surface, you might have spotches. Spotches, is that even a word?
Splotches.
Yeah. On a bigger panel, you might have sections of the project that has dull spots. And that's an issue, because usually spray cans are great for small stuff, maybe interior parts, your engine bay and all that. I've seen people paint their whole car. I think that's amazing. Now what I would recommend, I think I would recommend a spray gun. But when you're doing bigger projects, you want to make sure you have your pattern as wet as possible. Make sure you don't drip it, but you can't spray it on too dry, because then you're going to notice the difference of the metallics and the pearls, and it's just going to look blotchy. So you got to take that into consideration when you're spraying anything bigger. Take your time, make sure you're getting the surface wet enough, so when you go back with the next coat of this paint, the color is wet enough for it to melt into the next coat, and you're not going to get a dry edge. All right, so this is a question everybody asks. Is your paint heat resistant? Yes, it's up to 400 degrees. Now, don't go paint your exhaust manifold or a turbo or whatever you have out there that goes over the 400 degrees, because it's gonna end up failing. Now, this paint, I have my radiator painted, I have tons of parts on my car. Things in your engine are not gonna go past 400 degrees. Your brake calipers, if you're not doing Formula One, you can use this on your brake caliper. We have thousands of customers out there that uses our paint on their brake calipers. So just make sure you use a great 1K epoxy primer or 2K epoxy primer. We have a couple different options in spray gun and in aerosol, but that's really it. 400 degrees, you can use this on anything that you have on your car. I think the biggest thing is your exhaust manifold is not gonna work. And if you have some type of turbo that gets way past the 400 degrees because you're racing, obviously it's not gonna work, it's gonna fail. But everything else on your car is gonna work perfect. This is what it's designed for. It's a polyurethane, it's a solvent-based paint. It's not an acrylic, it's not an enamel, it's a polyurethane, completely different. This is the base coat. So we've had this drying already for, I would say 10 minutes already. Now we're gonna come back and we're gonna spray Interstellar Green 100. I wanted to show you guys, this is a gorgeous color as is, but I wanted to show you what happens when you spray a pearl. Now, we offer tons of our pearls all in a spray can. All right, so we're gonna spray our Interstellar Green 300. Oh, I'm sorry, this is our Interstellar Green 100. We have 3 different sizes, 60 being our smallest, 100 being our medium, and 300 the largest. So we've had people in the past say, hey, there's no color to my metal flake, or there's no color to this. Yes, there's no color, you're correct. This is our pearls in our carrier. This is mixed with our inner coat carrier that's designed for custom colors, and that's exactly what you're spraying. You're spraying a translucent mid coat with pearls. Same thing with a metal flake. It's a translucent mid coat with the metal flake in it. So in this case, we're gonna spray green. It's a nice contrast against this purple, and we're just gonna, we shook this for a while, make sure how it looks. It looks awesome. And then let's see if the camera catches it. You ready? We're gonna do 1 coat. And remember, with pearls, the more you put, the more you get. And the pearls will start overtaking the project. So we're gonna let this dry a little bit. Let's see here. It's already lightening up. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. Can you guys see the sparkle there on that? Slightly. So what we're gonna end up doing is giving this another coat, and that other coat's really gonna bring out even more sparkles. So as it dries, you know, when we sprayed this, it had some haziness to it. As it dries, the solvents are evaporating and it starts becoming more clear. I'm gonna come back and give this another coat. I wanted to have more of a dramatic effect so you guys can actually see the green pearl. So that's 1 coat. I'm gonna give it another coat. I want you guys to really notice it. And there we go. Now we have the effect. So the color has gotten much lighter than the original color, and I'm gonna spray the original color here so you guys can see the difference on the stick. Look at the original color down here, and look at the color up here. The pearls have lightened the color up because the reflection of the pearls in the color, it has a nice green glow to it. And that's something you have to take in consideration. If you don't want to change the color so dramatically, make sure you don't put too much product. In this case, in this video, I wanted to show you the difference. Look how the color should look like by itself with no pearls. And this is what it looks like with 2 coats of pearls. And it gives me a whole different look for the product. And then as it dries, it's gonna start becoming more translucent. And then we're gonna let that dry another 10 minutes. And then from there, we're gonna go into clear coat. So we have our spray outs done. We have the pearls on it. Now we have a 1K clear, real simple. This doesn't have a button. This is a 1K acrylic product. You wanna make sure, oh, it's an acrylic urethane. It's a solvent based. We wanna make sure we shake this very well. You wanna make sure all the solvents and resin are mixed up well. Same thing, I put them upside down. It's a nice hot day. These cans were sitting outside in the warehouse. There was no reason for me to heat it. Right now it's like 98 degrees. 95 degrees here in Miami, so it's pretty warm. All right, so this is ready for some clear. This is an adjustable fan, and we're gonna put this just in the middle, spray this. Your color's gonna come to life now. There you go. And let's get a little light here. Let's spray a little bit better on the edges. Just make sure. Sometimes you wanna, all right. Pass that light to me, please. Thank you. Let's make this, it's still drying up, but you have that nice green pearl effect.
That's the shot. We'll get that shot.
We're gonna end up letting this dry. It's still hazy. As the solvents are evaporating from it, it's gonna be hazy, and that's normal. As it starts to evaporate, it starts to dry, and that haziness goes away, and you end up with a nice clear product. So I wanted to show you guys, it's still evaporating, but look at the difference in color. Look how this is nice and dark, and I have a whiteness here. That's actually the solvents evaporating away from the clear. The whole car was all white, and little by little, as it's evaporating, the solvent's escaping the surface, and then it's clearing up. But don't freak out when you see this happening. Don't put more product. Let it dry out, let it completely become clear. And then from there, you can go on to another step of another coat of clear, giving it, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever your ambient temperature is. We're here in South Florida, so it's pretty warm, so it's pretty quick. This has been sitting here for like 5 to 8 minutes. If you're somewhere and it's 60 degrees, it's gonna most probably be 30 minutes. Take into account, a little common sense will help you dictate when you should do it. Even though I'm telling you in this video 5 to 8, 10 minutes, if you're somewhere that's very cold, if you're in Alaska, Washington State, and it's winter, 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes is not gonna be an option for you. You're gonna have to most probably wait 30, 40, maybe an hour. It all depends of how the temperature is. Your ambient temperature plays a factor. But look, as we're talking, it continues to slowly dissipate, and it's disappearing. So once this is crystal clear, we're gonna most probably give it another coat, but we wanna show you how the effect is with the pearls. I'm not sure if this comes out very well on the camera. We're gonna do some tight videos of this in our studio room. It's gonna be nice and dark. You can really appreciate the pearls on this. But it's really nice, and look at the difference between the color with the pearls versus the original color down here. So this has already been dried for 10 minutes. It's nice and warm here. We're gonna give it another coat. I'm touching the stick, make sure it's not sticky. If you wait too long, you run the risk of it when you spray another coat, it's gonna wrinkle the clear. All right, again, same thing, super white and hazy. Now we're just gonna let it sit here and evaporate. This is normal, don't freak out. These are the solvents escaping from the clear. Now we're just gonna put it down and let it just slowly evaporate. All right, so we gave this 2 coats. You can clearly see it's completely evaporated, it's crystal clear, and it's already dry to the touch. This is the process of spraying our product out of an aerosol can, and these are the results we're getting on a small surface. Obviously, when you do a bigger surface, there's gonna be a little bit more work to it, making sure you get it nice and uniform. But for all my guys out there doing smaller projects, engine bays, model cars, Hot Wheels, this is the results you should get. It's very simple. It's not really hard. Everything is in the prep.